Just over 2 weeks ago, I set out to try Final Fantasy XIV for the first time, and I went into the game pretty blind with no expectations, and that really let me get lost in the game. And if you've watched this series already, if you've seen some of these other episodes, you know we spent a ton of time fishing, in the Golden Saucer, or just doing things with people in the game and just having fun with this community. But today, I want to talk all about the story, because I've seen something crazy.
Say the line, Bart!
Such devastation! This was not my intention! Let's get into part 13. Welcome everyone to part 13, and if you see the flying mounts and you got the quote at the beginning, you know we've just hit an incredible milestone. We've just finished part 2.0. Wow, the story has blown me away, so there's a lot to talk about in this video, and I hope it's a good one. I also just want to get out of the way real quick. In the last video I put out, part 12, there was over 100 comments correcting me that Estinian is pronounced Estinian, not Estenine, and they are not a woman. They are a man. In my defense, they don't ever take their helmet off in the Dragoon quest, and there's no voice acting. And the Dragoon armor is very slim fitting. So I just guessed it was a woman, and I now know I'm very, very wrong. So I'm guessing Estinian has a lot of story going forward, or they take their helmet off at some point. But yeah, everyone knew but me, so yeah, sorry. Other than that, let's get straight into part 13. And of course, because we're talking about a lot of story, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this episode. So be very careful if you've not finished 2.0 or you've not started the game yet, because this is going to wrap up a big part of the story. So yeah. So in the last one, we hit level 50 and we got our level 50 Dragoon armor. So that's why we're looking so suave right now. And it was time to do Cape WestWind, which is a 8-man trial. And you get to fight Gaius's lieutenant, like his second in command. And the guy looks really cool. Like he's got big bruiser armor. He's got massive, crazy weapons for hands. He looks really, really cool. The fight itself was pretty much okay. I think we had a really good party doing it, but the fight itself was pretty standard. He hit like a truck. Like if your healers aren't on it, you're dead here because he hit hard. But the mechanics weren't too bad. He put like little pools of fire, like rockets, and he'd do a few like little AoEs. But generally, the fight wasn't too mechanically difficult. I think that some of the primal fights were a little harder than this, but I'm guessing if he has a hard mode, what he can do would get a lot worse because he hits so hard. But yeah, this was a really cool fight, and it was nice to knock out one of the Empire people. And in the last episode, of the 100 comments correcting me about Estinian, there was probably another 100 saying, did this guy forget who Thancred was? Yes. I spent so long messing around between the start of the game and this part of the game. And I think because Thancred did his disappearing act so early and then I took such a long break, I just forgot. I completely forgot that Thancred was here and left. So when it was like, oh, he's possessed Thancred, I was like, oh, Thancred, who's that guy? And I completely forgot the relevance. But after getting completely annihilated in the comments, I went and watched my old videos. I realized and remembered that he was one of the Scions. So yeah, forgive me again. And then everything was built into this big fight with Gaius and the Ultima weapon. It was all about that. The whole story was pushing you towards that. And then after this inspiring speech from Alfinord, we were fired up to go in and do more of the story. So I was leveling my cooking. I got it to like level 30. And there was this super funny quest where one of the cooks had was constipated. They couldn't poop. So you had to go and make some like dried prunes to help them. And I thought that was just super funny because the cooking's kind of dry. So quests like that really just make it fun. I thought cooking was kind of boring, but I'm kind of getting into it more now. It's not just like melt 20 butter. It's like make things that need like 20 ingredients, and some of them you have to get from like farming, or you have to go out and do botany to get them. So of course I went and did some botany. So yeah, I did some botany, went and getting like chamomile and prunes and stuff like that. And yeah, I really, really like the gathering skills. I mean, I make jokes about fishing all the time, but I like the gathering just in general, just going around and just collecting stuff. I find it super relaxing and super fun. Some other cool stuff's opened up as well on botany. Like you can now find hidden items, so like hidden ingredients. So I found a lot of like seeds, so I can go and plant them in like my FC garden and stuff. So yeah, I'm really, really, really enjoying the gathering. And I think now I've finished 2.0, I'm going to spend a lot of time just like playing around with the crafting and the gathering skills. Then with that out of the way, it was on to the next big part of the story, which was a big Castrum Meridianum. Yeah, some big a big 8-man trial dungeon raid thing where you had to go in and get into this big fortress. So this was super cool. This felt very. I thought this was the end, and I genuinely thought this was like the final bit. I thought we were going to fight the big guy in here, but it really wasn't. This was kind of an intro to the end, and this was the closest thing I've seen so far to like a World of Warcraft raid. So. If you've played WoW, the best thing about the game is the raiding and the high-end difficult content. And I haven't seen that anywhere in Final Fantasy yet until now. So this was like 8 people, you go in, and there's these big... there's trash leading up to bosses, and then you fight the boss, and then there's a bit of story, and then there's more trash up to the next boss. And it's everything I could have wanted. It really is. The fights are well telegraphed and challenging, and there's stuff that you need to work out for, mechanics, and they're really cool. And then, of course, you've got the amazing story in the background, which, especially seeing it for the first time, was incredible. I've got to say that Castrum was very story heavy. It was like fight a monster story, but there's no complaints here because the story is bang on. It's so good. But yeah, this place was really cool. Like I say, like the only group content I've done was fighting the Titans, the primals. So it was really cool to see like fighting mechs and the Empire in this enemy base. Really enjoyed this. And then the final boss here was Livia. So this is like the love interest and the one of the direct people who report into Gaius, and she's also caused quite a lot of problems with the Scions early in the game. So yeah, this was a really cool fight. And I think I mentioned in my first video, when you do like the training for like being a DPS, it shows you like the novice training. It shows you that fighting is more than just fighting. There's a lot of like mechanics you have to do outside of the fight. And you got to see that here really well. So there was like these cannons, and you had to load the cannons with weapons, and then you had to go to the cannon, you had to load it with ammunition, protect it from enemies, and then you had to fire at the enemy. Now, like a complete idiot, I stood here clicking it, not understanding what the hell I was doing, probably slowing everyone down, and then someone said, yo, check your hotbars. And there's a weapon that comes on your hotbar, so you have to fire at it like that, and that's how you chunk off his health. So yeah, this was a really cool fight, and seeing things like this is getting me so excited for what future progressive content's going to look like. I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, this wasn't a hard boss, but it was technically complex. There's different things to do, different things to watch out for. Before here, most of the challenge had been avoiding ground AoEs and avoiding attacks. So it's nice to see little things that you have to do that make things interesting. So yeah, really excited for what's to come. If I wasn't already completely hooked on the game, this would give me the motivation to keep going. So yeah, super excited. This was really fun. If you're early in the game and you haven't seen any challenging content, I would say look forward to Castrum because it gives you a real good taste. And then we got a real good anime ending. So we'd taken out Gaius' best friend, we'd taken out his love interest, so it was only right that the next place we go is to fight Gaius directly. So I took a little break and did a bit more gathering, and while I was there I saw Dosco, who had the Zidane outfit. And ever since the first video, everyone keeps telling me how to get this, and I know I need to subscribe and be a loyal member for a long time. Like 90 days, is it? This will be mine. This outfit will be mine one day. It's not a matter of if, it's a when. I want this outfit so bad. And this was the first time I think I saw it in game. So yeah, I like the look of it so much. So yeah, one day. And then I was actually going to do the next part of the story, and I noticed there was a quest in the gladiator place, and I was like, I'm already a gladiator. So I went over, did this like cookie trail quest, and it took me to the back underground part of the gladiators like guild, and I was like, what's going on here? And it's a new class. So of course I unlocked this. This was something I was looking forward to for a while, the samurai. And you basically have to fight the main samurai guy, and then you have to fight some more people in like this arena. And it's a pretty cool intro quest. And I really like how this guy plays. So he plays a lot like a rogue in World of Warcraft, and the rogue, you'd have combo points. So you build up combo points by doing different moves, and then you would release the combo, and you would do a ton of damage and like critical hits and stuff. And you just go for these big numbers. And it's a similar thing here. You build up these 3 like chakra points, and then you can do like this explosive move depending on how many chakras you built up. Oh, they're probably not called chakras. They're called like chi or zen. Sen. They're called Sen. So yeah, once you've built 3 of these, you can do this massive burst. And I think this is a really cool class. I really think I'm going to try this at some point. I really like the look of it. One issue I do have, so I'm always honest in these videos, is I don't really like how the class starts at 50. It kind of feels like a boosted class now, like I've not experienced the grind and bringing it up from 0, so I don't feel attached to it. And it's kind of, I've just got 20 buttons on my hotbar, which I've got no emotion towards because I don't know what any of them do. So I feel like I need to go and just grind monsters for a while to fully understand and read everything. And yeah, I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think about classes starting at 50 or 60 or whatever, because I personally am not a fan of it. I mean, it's great that you get the boost in the skip, but I don't know. I feel like I've lost that agency of like, leveling the character up. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'll get used to it after a while. But it does feel like I want to play this guy, but I'm intimidated by I've missed the learning curve. So yeah, I'll stop rambling. Let's move on. Then it was time for the main event, the big finale, the big conclusion to 2.0, the Praetorium. This was insane. I can't put into words how good this was. It was phenomenal. So I did this live on stream. We basically went and we did like an hour in the Golden Saucer, and everyone was saying, let's go do the Praetorium. So we did it minimum eye level. We saw all the mechanics, and I did like a live reaction to it. And I can put that on, I can share that on YouTube if you want, like an hour and a half of like the live reaction to this at minimum eye level, everything at its best, reacting to the ending. If you want to see that, let me know. But obviously in these videos, I try and summarize things. And to summarize, it was incredible. It was incredible. It really, really was. Also, if you ever do want to come watch live and get involved, I do stream on Twitch 3 times a week, and we are having an absolute ball over there. There was over 300 of us as we did this big finale. So I'll link Twitch down below if you want to come join in. And then leaving Castrum, it was rated really high for me. I thought it was really, really good. Coming here, it pushed Castrum straight down. This blew Castrum out the water. This was incredible. It was so, so good. And what you see here looks a lot like Castrum, right? You're going around, you're fighting mechs. And yeah, the start was it was a build-up. But then you take these epic mechs, which leads back into the story when you like recommissioned and rebuilt one of the mechs. So it kind of brings that together. And then here we are, all 8 of us, marching through, taking out all of their machines, destroying their defenses, and just going in with main character energy. It was incredible. It was incredible. You can only experience this once for the first time, and if you're not here yet, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. So the first fight we had was against Nero, the big red guy, and I did not understand the mechanic here. I really, really struggled with this. So basically, he would put this big field on the outside of the ring, and if you go in there, you get damaged. So you're stuck in a very small space, and then these things would appear, these like creatures, and they would tether to someone. So you see here, it tethered me. You can't go into the ring to fight it because you'll get attacked, but then you can't let it get to you because it's like a death claw. So yeah, and it pushes you into the ring, and I really didn't understand how to do this. I feel like the ranged classes had a really good way to combat this, but as a melee, I felt really, like I didn't really know what to do here. So if you let me know in the comments what I did wrong. When it's targeting someone else, I could go and melee it, but when it was on me, was I just meant to keep my distance? I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to know what I did wrong here. But the mechanics on this, again, were super cool. Really liked it, and I'm really looking forward to running this again. Now I know how it's going to look. Red boy down, it was time to come up against the big man himself, Gaius. And if you've ever seen an epic cutscene, you know there's got to be a reindeer in the corner. And then he basically turns into Thor, but the Magicka version, and he turns into pure gold. I think this character is one of the strongest characters in the first part of ARR, like 2.0. I really, really think he's a solid character. He's evil, but he's not evil for the sake of being evil. He's got his reasons. Like, he thinks strength rules all, and he's the strongest, and he thinks he's doing the right. Like, you can get in his head, and you can see why he's doing what he's doing, and he's doing it for good reasons in his mind. But obviously, when you look at morality, he's actually evil. So yeah, this guy, really, really cool, and I was so excited to fight him. The fight itself was probably the easiest one in here so far, because he basically, I think he would be more trouble if you were a ranged caster, because he would do these he'd teleport around, and he'd do these big channels where he'd fire out a big blast. So he's like a gun blade guy, and he'd fire out these big blasts. He'd put these big pools on the ground, and yeah, I could see why it would be difficult, but as a melee, I found it quite easy because he was mostly targeting people that weren't me. So you just had to get back on him. Obviously, as a Groon, I got the jumps as well. So yeah, this fight was fine, but really cool still. If you ignore everything I've said so far, ignore everything, this is the fight that makes the video. This is the best fight I've done ever in Final Fantasy XIV. It was incredible. The Ultima weapon. No, there's no words. There's no words for it. It starts out and you can't attack the boss because he's like immune. And then Heidelin, the crystal woman, gives you the power to fight him, and she shines light into the area. And it's just so good. It's just so good. Basically, as you fight him, you slowly grind him down, and then he starts to use the power of the primals. So first he starts slapping you with like an Ifrit, fire everywhere. And then as soon as the fire's gone, the Titan comes down and smashes the ground. And then as soon as the Titan's smashed, there's this weird like lull period. And then Garuda will come in and do a big group-wide AoE. And it's 3 big mechanics on top of his attacks themselves. Incredible, incredible. You've really got to stay on your feet. You've got to learn. Obviously, if you're doing it for a second time, it might be easy. But for the first time doing it, not knowing what was coming, this was such a good fight. And obviously the primals are such cool characters and like they're iconic. So having all 3 primals in one place, plus him, yeah, no words, no words. Phenomenal. I did this fight with a group of people who are quite, you know, a few of the people here were like veterans of the game. So I thought this would be a breeze, but they hadn't done it on minimum eye level before, and they hadn't seen all these mechanics. Apparently this is a really quick fight when you're doing it normally. But yeah, we had all the mechanics here, and we actually died once on this fight. And like I say, these people they've done this fight a ton of times, and we died. This was no joke. It was so good. And then you basically realize that La Habrea was the puppet master behind all of this, and he was completely on a whole nother level to Gaius. He clearly is leagues above Gaius, and he was using Gaius in a way. And yeah, you don't feel bad for Gaius, but you realize that he's just a pawn in this big fight. And then I was streaming this on Twitch, and during this next part, chat started spamming this quote, and I had no idea what was going on. So I'm guessing this is a really important quote or like a really memorable one, and it really hits. It really is so good.
Son, station. This was not my intention.
And then the only thing better than this fight is the soundtrack to it. What an absolute banger. This is incredible. The main part here was like keeping on your toes. I think we wiped here as well. The main thing is these big lasers coming across the ground that you need to avoid, and the big AoEs. There's some bigger like plasma balls that explode, and then there's these things that appear which give like a shockwave, and you've got to get to the other side of the room. But the big thing that will get you here is the lasers on the floor. They're constant, and you've really got to dance around to avoid them. And I couldn't have asked for a better ending fight than this. It was phenomenal. Again, 10 out of 10. Honestly, incredible. Incredible fight, incredible ending, and the best final boss I've had so far. And then with the power of anime and friendship, you all come together, the crystals unite, Heidelin behind you, and you finally take it to this guy. The big villain of 2.0 is defeated. This, I'm not even going to talk over it. My heart was racing as I played this, and as I watch it back, I've actually got goosebumps. It was so good. Thancred saved, the big evil defeated, the Ultima weapon gone. Amazing. It really, really was amazing. The ending to this part of the story is so much better than anything I would have expected. It really has blown me away. And that sums up 2.0. Thancred saved, the big evils defeated, the primal weapon defeated, and so much of the game is unlocked. There's blue quests everywhere. I've just unlocked flying. There's new classes I can take. So there's so much to do now. It's a little overwhelming how much there is to do. So I think the next few videos going on, there's going to be less story. I'm going to take the time to level the crafting I wanted to do, level the classes, try some fun stuff. There's going to be some fishing. There's going to be some golden saucer. It's just going to be community and fun stuff, I think, for a little while, because I really was pushing through the story because I was so invested. And now I just don't want to crunch through much more straight after. So I'm going to take a few days of just having fun and chilling out. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, it was very story heavy, and if you've seen the story before, I don't know how this would feel to watch again, but I'm probably going to wrap this video up here because, yeah, this is kind of everything we did. I mean, we're already hitting 20 minutes as well, but I really, really hope you've enjoyed this one. The next video that comes out in a few days is definitely going to be more social and fun and just trying new things like we did with the samurai. We're going to try like blue mage, red mage. I might level a healer. And a lot of the things you're going to see are going to be recordings from Twitch again. So if you do want to come watch we play this live, there's a lot of us. We're having a ton of fun over there, and I'll be streaming on Twitch maybe straight after, maybe tonight at like 7 in a couple of hours after this premieres. If not tonight, it will be Saturday, so I'll drop my link for Twitch down below if you do want to come follow and watch live. It's going to be very chill. We're going to have a lot of fun, so yeah, I hope to see you there. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. The next videos coming out are, if people want to see it, I will release like the 1.5 hours of, you know, or maybe like an hour, like reaction and live video of playing through Praetorium on minimum eye level plus reaction to the ending. If you want to see that, I'll put it up. It is long, so let me know if that's something you want to see. If not, I will see you in the next video or over on Twitch. Thank you all so much for your support. It's kind of emotional getting to the end of this first big period. 13 episodes to get here, but we've made it. So thank you all who've stuck here from the start or halfway through, or if this is your first one, hello, welcome to the series. So yeah, thank you all so much. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.